do, do. Shabbat Shalom. Someone today said that my day is a Groundhog Day day. You know what Groundhog Day means? I haven't watched the whole movie yet, but there's that movie about with Bill Murray in it that he keeps doing the same day over and over again. As soon as the alarm goes off, it's the same exact day over and over and over again. And I've only seen little snippets of it, but today was one of those days that everything I tried to do, I had to do like multiple times before it actually worked. And it was a little bit like that all week. And yesterday I got to see the kids at Jacob's camp. Woot! I got to see a little guy named Billy Braunig. He was really cool. As soon as he saw me, I'm looking, and I guess I was in the wrong unit, but as soon as he saw me, he zoomed up and hugged me. All the kids zoom up and hug me when I'm at camp, and that's my favorite part. Big hugs and happy smiles. And you know that when I can't go and stay overnight, I only go for lunch. That way they see me and they say, oh, we're having a great time, we're having a great time. And then I talk to them during lunch. I try to, catch them for a minute and talk to them. And then after lunch is over, we take a picture together, and I ask them if there's anything that I need to know or that I have to tell their parents. And it's usually just hugs. I mean, it's a great thing. And then I'm gone before they say, tell Mommy I'm miserable. That's my theory anyway. So if I can't stay for a few days. Last session was horrible because I came and I was intending to stay overnight Tuesday night, but my leg was bugging me. I just finished the ISJL conference, and so I asked if I could stay just for lunch, and she said yes, and then she sent back a message. She said something like, ha, 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 because it was Maccabia, so it's color war, and the kids, which that's not a problem. I've been there for Maccabia before, but the kids sat by colors. There are 4 colors in the color war in the Maccabia, and this was a silent lunch, which means they're not allowed to talk during lunch, so I couldn't visit them and say anything. So I had this brilliant idea. I had my cell phone with me, and I typed up a message, and I would say, like to one kid, I said, your mom's trying to find out where you hid the remote control for the TV or something like that. And I'm showing it to them on phones, and they're typing back to me. And then one of the kids, I'm standing behind the camp director with a kid poking on a phone, and she's saying, why is that child using a phone? Oh, yeah, I forgot. They're not supposed to use phones. But it was just to talk to me. It was like a slate board. But anyway, our kids are doing wonderfully, and it's just so awesome to see how much they enjoy it and the kinds of things that they get out of it every day. So thank you again for encouraging our kids to go to camp. But I started to tell you yesterday I tried to get to camp, and I'm driving a rental car because my real car has one of those airbags that are going to be shrapnel in me. So it's in storage, and I am driving this rental until I get my car, the airbag replaced. And it's an Infinity. It's a fancy schmancy car. I can't even figure out where the buttons are. And I was trying to turn on the cruise control, and instead the display in front of me showed me that my tires are supposed to be at 35 PSI, it says that, and they were at 46 PSI. That sounded not good to me. I mean, I'm not a tire expert, but that didn't sound good. But I was driving, and then all of a sudden the tire warnings go off, and so I stopped and had the tires deflated, and I didn't explode. It didn't pop, so I made it just as they were singing Birkat Hamazon. So my whole driving all the way there and all the way back was for like the 10 minutes that I got at the very end. We got a picture, I got hugs, we got all that stuff, but it was still part of the I can't, it's like just not exactly what I want it to be. Speaking of, and you know that I don't like Shabbat turning into something even somber, because Shabbat is supposed to be an oasis in time where we can leave the to-do lists outside and we can leave the worries outside. So before that starts, two important things to tell you in case you didn't get your message just now. The family asked me to send it before Shabbat, but Dot Kaplan just passed away. I am relieved to tell you that it was peaceful, because recently she hasn't been very peaceful. But it was very peaceful at the end, and Betsy and Mark were there. And anyway, they're waiting for family to come in, and they want the service to be, there's going to be a memorial service here at 10 with a private interment, partially to keep people from having to be out in the heat. And I think that's very considerate these days. And then they'll have a chance to visit with everybody afterwards. But another cheerful lady. We lost a very cheerful lady. And the other thing, obviously, is 80 people in Nice at a parade. I mean, we go to parades, and it was a very frightening thing. And in a place called, I mean, the headlines talk about nice, but it's Nice. Mm-hmm. And it's horrible. So another Shabbat where we begin with our hearts sad. And as I said last time, sometimes we just have to take a moment to cry, just to be sad, just to accept that. People ask, how does God let these things happen? And I always tell you, I don't think God is letting them happen or making them happen. I think he's just crying with us. So having said that, we begin our Shabbat by letting go of all of that stuff. And you know that one of the best ways of doing that, first of all, look around for a second. Look around. Look around. Because one of the best ways for us to deal with the stuff going on in the world is making sure that we're aware of the people around us and that these are our people. Whoever you see around you, wherever you go, these are our people. Smile at them, talk to them, make sure you know who they are a little bit, just as something. Say, hey, nice t-shirt, or thank you for telling me how to get to the bathroom, or that's what I did yesterday. And then I saw the same guy on the way out, and I said, it worked, thank you. So, but connect to people, please. We're in some ways too disconnected. And then we take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And we try again. And we let it out slowly. And hopefully you felt some relaxation in here. Hopefully you took in an extra. And I know I do this periodically. It's supposed to be that we're all the blessers today. But Helene just had a birthday. So I'm going to let Helene come up and bless the candles on page 65. And she could bring up any guys she wants to come with her to help do the Kiddush and the candles. We start on page 65, and I invite you to please rise. Any guys who want to come up with her. But they have to promise they'll talk into the microphone. Oh, she got the handsome guy. And the handsome women. Sorry. And the beautiful women. I like this. Coming up. Page 65.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner Shabbat.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with your mitzvot and command us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Let there be joy.
Let there be light.
Let there be peace.
Let there be Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Now we turn to pages 167 and 166 for the Kiddush, the sanctification of our day.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, B'rei Peri Hagafen.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You call us to the holiness with the mitzvot of Shabbat, a sign of your love, a reminder of your creative work, and of the liberation from Egyptian bondage, our day of days. On Shabbat especially, we hearken to your call to serve you as a holy people. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. You're welcome to be seated. If you say Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos to someone you came in with, someone you didn't come in with. Anybody that didn't come in with you, make sure that everybody gets a Shabbat Shalom. That's for on call. And we are going to go back to page 66, and I see that everybody here is dressed for the wedding because we are the groom and the bride is about to come in. At the end, the last verse, she'll be there coming in, and you are welcome to stand and face her or stay seated, whatever is your custom. But we're going to sing about her now on page 66. Get ready. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamoy zachor b'diבור echad, hishmi'anu el ha'meuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'tila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecha, bracha merosh mikedem nezucha, sof yachaseh machshavat chila. Where did I go? Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. This verse is for me. Wake up. Dori, dore, kiva orechu miuri, uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Here she comes. Boi v'shalom ma'ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola. You see her? Tochem u'ne'am segula, boi chala. She's gorgeous. You can see. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. When I'm conducting the service, that's one of my favorite parts, is to see the look on the groom's face when she comes down the aisle. And that's what I saw on your faces. Here she is. She's ours. And we are the groom. It's kind of scary, isn't it? Responsively. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness and of the impulse within us for justice and mercy, we pray that this hour of worship may be one of vision and inspiration. Help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we and Jordan shall say into our hearts and our lives.
Bless
Bless all who enter this sanctuary in search and in need. all who bring to this place the offering of their hearts. May our worship here lead us to fulfill our words and intentions with acts of kindness, peace, and love. Amen. We have come together to strengthen our bond. Like Jews, we celebrate the grandeur of creation. Like Jews, we echo our people's ancient culture.
Our celebration is a sharing of memory and hope.
But each of us is unique. We stand apart and alone with differing feelings and insights, and yet we're not entirely alone and separate, for we are children of one people and one heritage.
Our celebration unites many separate selves into a single chorus.
And we are one in search of life's meaning. All of us know despair and exaltation. All bear burdens. All have moments of weakness and times of strength. All sing songs of sorrow and love.
May our celebration bring us strength along our way.
In this circle of hope, in the presence of the sacred, may the heart know itself and its best, finding a fresh impulse to love the good.
May our celebration lead us to work for the good, and may it give strength to us.
May we appreciate it here together. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Many are the generations of Israel. Braunig's here today. And in every age we have sought the living worship. This time and place hold the power to increase in the eternal. Oh God, even as we help us to know that your glory fills all space. Make us understand that you are with us at all times, if we but open our minds to you.
We feel the presence of your Spirit in our homes and on our ways. We see the beauty of your creation in mountain, sea, and sky, and in form. We hear you in the silence of our own hearts, speaking the truth the heart knows.
May we be your witness to the world, your messenger to all the earth.
May we show forth your image within us, the divine spark that makes us human.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
בעלמא דברה חירותה, וימליך מלכותה, בחיי וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב ומרו. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמך דקודשה ברכו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דע מהירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
As day departs, as the dark of night descends, we lift our eyes to the heavens. In awe and wonder, our hearts cry out.
Eternal God, how majestic is your name in all the earth.
A vast universe, who can fathom it? Reach out to the endless suns and what are our dreams and our hopes? What are we that you are mindful of us? What are we that you should care for us?
And yet within us abides a measure of your Spirit. You are remote, but oh how near, ordering the stars in the vast solitudes of the dark, yet whispering in our minds that you are closer than the air we breathe. For you have made us little less than divine, and crowned us with glory and honor. With love and awe we turn to you, and in the dark of evening we seek the light of your presence. One and only God, you have made each of us unique and formed us to be united in the family of life. Be the eternal one, as we seek to unite our lives with your power and your love. We proclaim now your oneness and our own hope for unity. We acclaim your creative power in the universe and in ourselves, the law that binds world to world and heart to heart. Do another Shema. You did one already. Do a Shema this time. Shema, I'm
I was
sorry.
too falling asleep. It's Groundhog Day.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Yod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Do you want to help me with the Vahaftah? You can say no if you want. It's been a rusty summer. Come on up. She's at Hebrew class. And she hasn't done this for a while, to my knowledge. I don't know. We haven't practiced it together, at least. Come on up, my dear. We are on page 72. And liberation. She can do it. She can do it. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך ולבבך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם בבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך וכתבתם על זוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני Adonai Elohechem. Give me a big one. So my claim to fame is, you need this one, is that when Rabbi Jordan was your age, I taught him Hebrew. So maybe one day I can say that that's my claim to fame, is I taught you Hebrew too. I like that. I like that. We say it again in English, page 72. You shall love your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your being. Words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them safely to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my shall you consecrate yourself to your God. I am eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness, a world to be redeemed, give us, O source of good, the courage to say, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens are your glory. May earth reveal your justice and your love. From Egypt, the house of bondage, we were delivered. At Sinai, amid peals of thunder, we bound ourselves to your purpose. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, we survived oppression and exile, time and again overcoming the forces that would have destroyed us.
Our
failings are many, our faults are great, yet it has been our glory and to keep alive for ages the vision of a world. Vision never fade. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we sing with one accord, as Moses, Miriam, and Israel sang at the shores of the sea.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, malchutecha rahuvanecha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe zeli anu ve'anu Adonai imlo leolam va'ed. V'ne'emar, and it has been said, the Eternal One delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. Baruch atah Adonai God. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. Let there be love, understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal God, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up to find our hearts waiting to do your will. Pray for Israel, whose love gives light to all the world.
O God of Israel, may our worship on this day to grow in loyalty to our covenant and to the way of life it demands, the way of gentleness and justice, the path of truth. B'nai Israel, et Hashem, la'asot et Hashem, lidorot ha'itolam, beini uvein b'nai Israel, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam, bishameru b'nai Israel, et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat, lidorot ha'merit olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, v'shameru b'nei Israel, et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat, lidorot ha'merit olam, u'vayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat Shabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat, lidorot ha'merit olam. Please rise for the tefillah, which begins on page 76. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei ואלוהי רחל, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens. They felt you in their hearts. They sought you in their lives. Now their quest is ours. Help us, O God, to celebrate the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring near to realization the great hope inherited from ages past for a world transformed by liberty, justice, and peace. Your might, O God, is everlasting.
Help us to use our strength. Help us to use life for ourselves.
You are the support of the falling.
Help us to lift up the fallen.
You are the author of freedom.
Help us to free the captive.
You are our hope in death as in life.
Help us to keep faith with those who sleep in the dust.
Your might, O God, is everlasting.
Help us to use our strength for good.
You are Kadosh, holy. Your name is Kadosh. And those who strive to be Kadoshim, holy, declare your glory day by day. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת מקדשי שביעי שבת כולם ישמחו ויתענגו מטובך ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג שבת.
God of Israel, may our worship on this Sabbath bring us near to all that is high and holy. May it bind the generations in bonds of love and sharing, and unite us with our people in common hope and faith. And through Sabbath rest and worship, may we learn to find fulfillment and joy in the vision of peace for all the world. You are with us in our prayer, in our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble and clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Eternal source of good, we give thanks for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself and its entirety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days. Teach us, God of wonders, to work just in compassionate society, where all may share your gifts.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
There are things that have to be said that we still didn't have in our prayer book. The thing in our hearts. We take a moment to pray silently. Yiyu l'ratzon. Say the words of my mouth. Imre fi v'egyon libi. And the meditations of my heart. Lefanecha. Be acceptable to you. Lefanecha. Be acceptable to Adonai Tzuri. Tzuri v'goali. My rock and my redeemer. Adonai Tzuri. God, my rock v'goali. And redeemer. This point in our service, our Let's turn to those who are ill or recuperating.
Dylan.
For all these names and for the names we choose in our hearts and not say out loud, we pray together. O God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge give added hope to them. May they find because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. We have come to add, Misha Barach Avotenu V'Imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. May they return home safely. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. And I don't think this guy needs an introduction, so I am going to relinquish a microphone and ask Rabbi Jordan to come and give us some words of Torah. The kos on the right is yours. Can't believe these things. And look at all these little Brauniglets and stuff. This is just
Was mitzvah tutor. Look at me. It's so many memories to be in this space and to see cousins sitting together. Like I would sit with my cousins in here on Friday nights, and to see so many faces, some that I know and some that I don't. It feels very special. And in case anyone was wondering who led that jailbreak earlier, that was the rabbi's kid. And that's... Sorry. Perfect. So, there is a rabbinical school called Why Did You Become a Rabbi? But there should be. Because in all honesty, there is no question that I get asked more. You might imagine when you're studying to become a rabbi that you imagine you'll be asked about the meaning of various laws and customs, about the history and development of Jewish thought, perhaps the meaning of life. And while I do get these questions with some regularity, the question that I get most often, far and away, is not what did you learn, but why did you learn? I get asked by my students, by colleagues, by friends and acquaintances, college students in the campus center, parents at my kids' preschool, strangers on the train, in the hospital. The local librarian asked me recently, the mail carrier, the man who stands in front of the local CVS asking for change. Literally everyone is asking, and you'd think that at this point I would have a standard answer, well-rehearsed, concise, maybe 60 seconds, kind of like my personal rabbinic. Time I get to find myself grasping thing. It's not that I lack an answer. On the contrary, I'm overloaded with answers. Here is but a brief sampling. A love of text, the way I am shaped by ancient narratives, a deep connection to community, how empowering it is to connect my story with the story of others, a desire to build a more whole world, that Judaism has something to teach us about the brokenness of creation and the work of mending, a resonance with a tradition that accepts and even uplifts disagreement. I feel like as a rabbi, I live out the legacy of Jacob, who's renamed Yisrael, the God wrestler, as a tradition and with the divine. And of course, there's a lovely one of blessing, that in seeking out holy world, I will treat people I encounter with kindness. I think that we can all agree that this is just too much. They asked me a question, and all of a sudden I've opened up the floodgates. So I don't do this. Instead, when I'm asked, I usually talk about this place, about growing up Jewish in Shreveport, about B'nai Zion, about family and community. In particular, I talk about Torah study in the mornings and how I studied with people that included my grandfather, Neil Neerman. From an early age, I was encouraged and validated and told that I had a voice and I should use them. And during studying these texts that have been a home for our people for thousands of years, they became a home for me, and they remain a home for me. This is why I chose to be a rabbi. But I also talk about the things that happened after services, and how even as a kid I delighted in them. Not just the cheese straws and the punch and the I still love those cookies. But I took joy in conversation. And for one part of my week, I interacted with people who were much, much older than I was. So I would sit in the parlor with A.B. Murov, or Leona Leff, or Sally Schuster, or Flo Selber, or so many other people, and I would schmooze. And this is a key rabbinic skill. But in truth, what I had then and what I still feel like I have here, tight-knit community. And in a life that is often isolating, it is hard to place a value on what it means to show up in a synagogue and have community. To have known the warm embrace of community and often be a rabbi, a progressive religious tradition that I inherited. I felt at the time that the Judaism that I was taught was about the dignity of every human being, about deconstructing and reconstructing tradition, about celebrating a multiplicity of truths. I remember being here in 1991 when David Duke ran for governor, and I felt proud then and I feel proud now that in my house of worship, his candidacy was decried, that Jews and African Americans joined forces to reject bigotry. That didn't feel strange to me because that was what I was taught our job was as a people. Repeated more than any other phrase in the Torah is the line that we shouldn't ignore oppression because we were slaves in the land of Egypt. This is why I became a rabbi, because I learned that sacred communities can't be silent, that the role and to stand up, to be vocal, and to be a light unto the nations. And it's this last quality, our obligation to speak, that connects us to the parsha. In this week's Torah portion, the familiar story of Moses striking the rock. In the aftermath of Miriam's death, the Holy One of Blessing instructs Moses to go before the people, to take along his staff, but to speak to the rock, that it would produce water and their thirst might be quenched. But instead of commanding the rock with words, Moshe takes the rod and smashes it into the rock. And this act, however momentary, however brash, becomes the reason that Moses will not enter the land. And for generations of biblical thinkers and commentators, there was uncertainty about exactly what the nature of his transgression was. Was it the anger itself, the public nature of his frustration, the attempt to take credit for a miracle that wasn't his own? But for the Hasidic masters, those mystical teachers from the 17th and 18th century, his failure to speak. They point to a wordplay between the word for wilderness, midbar, and the word for speaking, midaber. Just as the Torah is revealed in the midbar, in the wilderness, so too is insight and understanding revealed through midaber, the act of verbal communication. Indeed, the power of speech is imbued with immense power in our tradition. In the morning liturgy, we say, Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who spoke, and the whole world came into being. When we consider all of the verbs, the active verbs that they had to shape, to construct, to build, that they might have chosen, that our origin myth chose to symbolize the world's creation through an act of divine speech. That's how the world was created. Speech, the mere movement of air, the articulation of sound. It's so inconsequential. We are meant to imagine the formation of our words, it seems, can create worlds. I love that on Yom Kippur we start the night with singing Kol Nidre, where every promise, every vow we've made, we disavow ourselves from. We say that our words are meaningless, and then immediately upon finishing, we look at our machzorim, at our prayer books that are full of words, because it seems like, words, they're weightless, they're easy, but they're also all we have, and we have to use them well. So when Moses picks up his staff and strikes the rock, our sages assert that the greatest protagonist of the Torah, whether it was his intention or not, subverts the power of speech. Moses, for whom speech didn't come naturally, he says he had a speech impediment. He seems to underestimate his community. He thinks they won't be able to recognize the power of his talking. They will only understand force. And it's at this point that we remember just where we are in the story, and that the verses just prior to this episode, Moses has experienced the death of his sister Miriam, the sister who watched him from a distance as he floated down the Nile and danced and sang at the shores of the Red Sea, who provided water from a miraculous well for the people in the desert. And destabilized by his grief in the throes of his loss, he acts from a place of pain. He feels unable to articulate words for his right. Would we do any differently? In this moment, we too are feeling lost. The shocking deaths of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile are still fresh in our minds. The targeted killing of 5 police officers in nearby Dallas, the carnage of Nice. We are rightfully pained. And if we're honest, it would be easy to reach real staff, to react from our fear. When the world seems out of control, we almost instinctively close ourselves off. We distrust the power of power of listening. Yet now is the time to use our voices, to speak up, to speak loudly, to proclaim that we are better than our greatest fears. We are stronger than the urge to hate. And maybe I'm giving away the fact that I'm the father of 3 boys who were 6 and under. I'm constantly telling them, use your words, don't use your hands, use your words. But now is the time for us to use our words. The lesson of this week's Torah portion is that speech is our greatest power. And when we trust in it, it can make love pour like water from a rock. So I'll end tonight with words from the Nobel lecture of Toni Morrison. It was more just the world to resist the inertia of silence, to get and to speak. And here I quote her. "We know you can never do it properly, once and for all. Passion is never enough, neither is skill. But try. Don't tell us what to believe, what to fear. You, old woman, blessed with blindness, can speak the language that tells what only language can. How to see without pictures. Language alone protects us from the scariness of things with no names. Language alone is meditation." May the source of life bless us with the courage to speak and with the belief that our words can transform the world before us. Adonai, give us the surety that we can live our life with vulnerability and fear, and we can make our speech miraculous, flowing from the wells of kindness and trust that lay within us. Shabbat Shalom.
Mr. President, this is a tough act to follow in many ways. I think you have words that you want to share. Did you steal all of the sheets that were on the pulpit? I think you stole all of our words. I think you stole our words too. I don't know.
Did I? That's my part too.
I don't know. Oh, no, I got them. Sorry, I stole all your words. One of the rabbis stole your words. They're right here. Sorry.
All right, great. So when
Sorry.
I walked in a while ago and I looked at the crowd here and how many people were here to see Jordan, I guess my primary question was not what made you become a rabbi. My question was, do you think you'll be available for our annual fundraiser?
There you go.
So we'll be contacting you, I promise. Camp High will be this week and next week at B'nai Zion from 9 to 2. Please join us at the annual Jewish Federation meeting, which will be held on Tuesday, July 26th, here at Woods Hall. In order to provide for all who attend, please RSVP by emailing or calling the Federation office. We hope that you or someone who has donated to the Federation, but even if you're and its plans for the future. Money donated to the Federation goes to Israel and serves our local Jewish community. Tonight's Oneg Shabbat is hosted by Helene and Bill Braunig, Ruthie Neerman, and the Sisterhood. Donations were made to B'nai Zion or for pulpit flowers in memory of Norman Glenn by Debbie Glenn, in memory of Sandra Eileen Goldberg by Dr. and Mrs. Mel Gold and family, in memory of Muslow by Bert and Ike Muslow, and Speed Stall, Bible Stall. Thank you.
Thank you. I now call everybody under the age of 12 up to help me open the ark, please. And when the ark is open, please rise. Come on up. We'll show you what to do if you haven't done this before. You coming up? Ready? Show us what to do. Try. We made it. Adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyeh haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים לפני מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. And on the facing page we are going to sing ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. And if the ark is closed, I don't know why that door got hard to close. There you go. I need some fists. Nice. Oh, you should call everybody. We continue on page 51. And today, in addition to thinking about everyone who lost their lives in Nice, who were attending that parade, and we also don't yet say Kaddish for Dot because she has not been buried yet. We add to that firefighter, Assistant Chief Koski of the Montreal Fire Department. He perished from drowning call in Saxon, Wisconsin. As part of a mutual aid agreement, his car was washed into the harbor by a flood. We also had other police deaths this week. Security Supervisor Joe Zangaro and Court Officer Ron Kinslow were shot and killed inside the Berrien County, Michigan courthouse by an inmate who was attempting to escape. Security Supervisor had served as the court's security for 10 years, retired from the Michigan State Police after 25 years. Officer, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly, Kinsley, was a U.S. Army veteran. He had served with the Berrien County Trial Court for 10 years after having retired from the Benton Township Police Department. We remember Officer Anthony Marcos Cerati, who served in the police department in Texas. He died in a motorcycle crash while he was that had been involved in an earlier shoplifting. Officer was a U.S. Marine Corps veteran and had served with the Bel Air Police Department for 7 years. He's survived by his wife and 3 daughters. May their memories be a blessing. May their families be forever grateful for their service. We continue on page 1. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We turn to page 153. In nature's ebb and flow, your eternal law abides. As you are our support in the struggles of life, so also are you our hope in death. In your care, O God, are the souls of all the living, and of all flesh. Your power gives us strength. Your love comforts us. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts. Fill us with trust in you, and turn us again to the tasks of life. And may the memory of our loved ones us to continue their work, coming of your sovereign rule. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall those whom death has taken from us these past 30 days. We remember Sandra Barron Weiner, Isaac Jordan, and what was her name? I have the wrong name. What's Ray's friend's name? Peacock, thank you. And as we remember those who died, who are parents of our congregants who died this past year, we remember Dr. Sidney Solutsky, Dr. Donald Rosen, Mara Sommer, Dr. Lowry Vasca, Yvette Bell Sommer, Val Gold, Anna Vinsky, Rhoda Gold, Ira Katz, and Delbert Plant. And we remember those who died at this season in years past as we take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing Yortsites this week include Regina Braunig, M. Leslie Cruvant, Norman DeLynn, Sandra Eileen Goldberg, W. Zolly Lerner, Ivan Wisberg, Anna Kess-Mantenbaum, Israel Meisel, Harvey Miller, Dorn Morris, Joe Murov, Sylvia Muslow, Max Rosenblum, Dave Spitzer, Mildred Marie Speed Stahl, and Louis Weiss. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies, loving God, we rise. And as we join together in the mourner's Kaddish, which is found on 154, and the translation is 155, you're welcome to read it in English, but please join your voices with us. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam olamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadal v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalom min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace mourn bereaved. Amen. Please be seated. Unless you're, and then I'd like you to come and help me so that we can have some of that Oneg Shabbat that Rabbi Jordan talked about. Ta-da! It's a Bethany special. Hold on to the bottom. Everybody hold on to the bottom. Come grab it. Nope. That's okay. Ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is B'chat Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. All right, I'm going to hold the bass. Everybody grab some. Grab some, grab some. Here, take the rest and bring it to your family. Take some, pass it around. There's going to be more for grown-ups. Take it and bring it to your family. Take the whole thing. Thank you. Shoo. I'm taking the back of this. You take that. There's more for grown-ups. In the meantime, I rise for the closing benediction. I say often, but I mean it each time. It is truly a blessing for us to be here together. May God bless you. May God protect you. May the light of God's face shine upon you, be gracious to you. May God's face be lifted up to you. Peace. Shabbat shalom.